Hi everyone, my name is Tahera Rene Christy, coming to you again with another edition of Tahera Explains It All things Love More Probe, of course, my amazing beauty and wellness brand that I make everything by hand to help you to love yourself and be in love with yourself just a little bit more. On today's episode, I wanted to talk to you a little bit about Yoni care. Now, I get a lot of questions, inboxes, people call, people stop me and say, what is this? What is Yoni, first of all, and how do I care for it? And there's a lot of buzzwords around that, so I want to kind of break some of those things down so that you guys have an understanding of what Yoni is, what it does, why it's important, and what you need to do in order to take care of it properly. So guys, this video is not for you, but if you want to learn more about what the Yoni is, this is for the ladies and to help you properly care for your lady bits and making sure that they are fresh, clean, and without any issues. So, Yoni. Yoni is just another word for vagina. It rolls off the tongue a little bit sweeter. It doesn't make you stop and cover the kids' ears if you're sensitive to nature. But Yoni is vagina, and it's Yoni is an ancient word that has resurfaced as a result of women in general becoming more in tune with themselves like they haven't before in a very, very long time. The last time we had like a women's liberation, women's movement was really in the 60s and 70s, and it's come back again. Feminism is back. Doing things naturally and organically is back, and people are getting in touch with themselves and with the bare basics of us as humans. I won't go into too many details about that, but if you were born female, you have a vagina, and if you have a vagina, you've got to take care of it, and there's so many ways that you can take care of it. I'm going to talk about some internal ways to take care of your vagina as well as some external ones, and that's where these amazing products come into play. But the vagina is probably the most talked about body part of any woman, any body, anything on the planet. It's in songs, there's so many euphemisms for it, but really it is the most sacred thing, the most precious thing that a woman has, and because it's so sacred and because it's so important, it's so very important to take proper care of it. And a lot of young girls aren't sure how to take care of their yonis properly, and so I think that as we get older, we do more research, we learn more ways, but I'm finding through just the general questions that I get, a lot of women don't know how to properly take care of their yonis. So let's talk about a couple of myths. Some cultures, and I'll say cultures because I've noticed it in other cultures that more in some cultures than others, some cultures believe it's not important to wash the vagina. And that could be a varying amount of degree in terms of what wash the vagina means. Some people believe just rinsing it is fine. Some people believe it's self-cleaning, so you don't have to touch it. God bless the people who are into that with those women. I know culturally, as a black woman, we are taught wash your vagina, wash your pussy. Like at the end of the day, wash it. It secretes it. You have sex, and sometimes things come out of it that are not liquid or don't smell good. There's a myriad of reasons why the vagina may be in need of a cleanse. And yes, the way God designed it is for it to self-cleanse, but we're humans and we mess things up and we put things where they don't belong, including penises and fingers and dirty things in and near our vagina, and it causes our pH to not be balanced. And we'll talk about pH balance in just a moment, but let's just talk about the general cleanliness of the vagina. Yes, the vagina is a self-cleansing organ, kind of like your tongue, kind of like your mouth. Your mouth is self-cleansing. You have saliva that generates itself, and it increases as you need to digest food or break food particles down. It dries out when the body needs moisture in other areas of the body. For example, if you have cotton mouth, if you smoke weed or you eat edibles, you get cotton mouth because the tongue takes away the moisture, the body takes the moisture away from the tongue because there's saliva there, there's a lot of moisture there, in order to coat the other organs of the body, hence why the effect of dry mouth exists. So you have to do the same thing with the vagina. It is a self-cleansing organ, but depending on your water intake, your diet, stressors in your life, your environment, all of those factors can be a reason why the vagina is not properly caring for itself and self-cleansing. Depending on who you're having sex with, what part of the month you're in, if you're near or ending or just about to begin your cycle, there are so many reasons why the vagina may not be lubricated, may feel dry, may feel red, may loosen, may be extra tight. There are so many factors. And so because, yes, the vagina should be self-cleansing and some factors make it not, you got to clean it. And not just clean it, and not just clean it with soap. My biggest thing that I tell people all the time, stop washing your pussy with Dove. Please. I know it's a quarter moisturizer, but there's a lot of other stuff in there that really will irritate your vagina and make it very red, itchy, can cause discharge, can cause all sorts of irritants and other issues that your labia, your clitoris, and your anus, quite frankly, can't tolerate because of the fragrances and other ingredients in that particular type of soap used. On top of the pH, soap has a natural pH of 8 or 9. That's all types of soap. Bar soaps, Dr. Bronner's soaps, liquid soaps, hand soaps, body washes. Soap has a pH of about 8 or 9. If you know anything about alkalinity versus acidity, pH balance, the water that we typically drink is supposed to be regulated at 7, right? That's right in between, all the way up to an alkalinity of 15, 16, all the way to an acidity of 1. Should be right there when you're drinking water, should be a 7. Now there's alkaline water, it's more of a 11 or a 10 or a 9. You see 9 a lot on the, a 9 actually is more drinkable. But a lot of the water of the faucet, it's between a 6 and an 8, depending on where you live and how much filtration your particular city offers. So that's why people do bottled water, because there's the minerals are either taken out or put in. Distilled water is for, machines. There's nothing in it, versus mineral water or drinking water or spring water, which has natural occurring minerals in them. I say all that to say, because the vagina is a living organ, its pH is at a 3.8 or 4.2. Somewhere in there is a healthy vagina. Now, too much acidity, like a 2, oh my gosh, you probably are very irritated and having several issues. Too much alkalinity can also cause the same effect, where the vagina becomes itchy, it becomes irritable, and can have the issues like discharge and discoloration and odor. So you don't want your vagina at a pH of 7. That's for the water we drink, but it passes through our stomach, which has acids, and then it goes through our bloodstream and eventually gives all of the organs the moisture that they need in order to function, your liver, your kidneys, your lungs, etc., all the organs of your body. But your vagina is a very special place. It is an acidic environment. In order to keep that acidic environment, you want to do things that promote the acidity. That's why women take apple cider vinegar. A lot of people are into the goji berry chewable apple cider vinegar versus drinking Bragg's apple cider vinegar. I'm dropping all these names and nobody's paying me for this, so hopefully I'll be able to tag them and show them that I'm promoting them. But anyhow, you want to drink apple cider vinegar because it helps it's a natural flushing of the system. Some people can't tolerate it, but you can see what you can tolerate. I personally don't like the smell or the taste. It reminds me of my childhood. And it triggers trauma anyhow. So I don't mind taking the capsules. I take 2 of those every evening just to keep the acidity balance in my diet as well as for my vagina. I also take probiotics. Probiotics are great for the gut and help to put healthy bacteria in your gut. Well, when you urinate, it's also coming out of your urethra, the tiny little hole just above your vaginal opening that your urine comes out of. That area is very sensitive. A lot of girls get a lot of urinary tract infections, so they drink cranberry juice, but they're drinking cranberry juice with a lot of sugar. Remember, yeast, which is what yeast infections are caused from, is in bread. It's in sugar, and sugar likes bacteria. And if you got a lot of bad bacteria in you, and you're eating a lot of sugar, and you're eating a lot of bread products and rice and just pastries and things like that, you're feeding the yeast infection. So you're actually counteracting what you're trying to accomplish, which is to get rid of the urinary tract infection or keep the vagina with an acidic nature to it. So if you're going to drink cranberry, make it cranberry concentrate with no sugar added, or take a caplet. There are cranberry extracts you can take in a caplet in order to keep the vagina in an acidic state. You don't want it alkaline. So let's get back to Dove and other body washes like it. Bath and Body Works, anything Suave, anything from Target, Oil of Olay. It doesn't matter the brand. They're all of an alkalinity of around between 7 and 10. Not good for the vagina. Fine for your body, fine for your underpits, fine for your legs. I wouldn't put it on my face, but it's fine for general cleanliness of the body and adding moisture to the body or whatever additives the soap may have, but not okay for the vagina. And so what you need for the vagina is a soap that has been specially designed for the vagina that has an acidity of between 3.8 and 4.4, because that's the place that, number one, the vagina can be cleaned and properly balanced for it to breathe, because the vagina needs to breathe. Stop wearing panties to bed if you do that. And also allow it to cleanse so that it naturally will reoccur the natural oils that exist in your vagina, so that it can be self-cleansing like it's supposed to be. It will help to aid in the self-cleanse process. Now, do you want to wash your vagina all the time, 5 times a day, 2 times a day, 3 times? No. There are times where you can simply rinse, but as a rule of thumb, I wash my vagina every day. Sometimes twice a day, depending on what I'm doing, because I am a married woman. Ow. The point being, wash your vagina with something that's going to aid and help it. So what do I have that can support that? I've got these amazing Yoni washes here. I've got a Yoni wash here that is unscented. It basically has rose water and tea tree essential oil in it in very small amounts, so it can help to cleanse. I've got a lavender version, which is lavender essential oil, and a cucumber chamomile version that does have a fragrance oil, but a very small amount because some women just like the smell of it. This specific formula is for women who are not sensitive and their vaginas are capable of having fragrance near them, but just want the cleanliness of having a pH balanced vagina. And I say it like that because some women are way more sensitive, so they need nothing but the actual substances that are going to keep their vaginas clean. But these are for the women that want that nice smell and are not sensitive. So I have these 3 recommended. They come in 6.5 ounces. And we, of course, also have trial sizes of the rose and the lavender scent, just not of the cucumber scent, because people tend to like to buy these in the big ones. So I keep it big. But nonetheless, you have options. Now, what's in this? What makes it so special? What makes it so great? This is one of my best-selling items. Women come back time and time again to buy it because it works so very well. So it's got distilled water in it. It's got rose hydrosol in it. It also has tea tree hydrosol. What's a hydrosol? It's basically when you take roses, and instead of boiling the roses and making it actual rose water, it is the steam from the rose water, and that is collected. So it's just the essence of the roses. So it's not overpowering, it's not overwhelming. It has a small amount of witch hazel. Witch hazel is 14% alcohol. And the great part about that is it can help strip, but not to a degree where it will dry out the vagina. It just simply gives it a nice wipe of the vagina so that it's effervescent and it feels fresh and it feels clean. Some people are sensitive to alcohols, so that's something you want to keep in mind with this ingredient. Of course, we have glycerin. We have hip rose oil. Now, I incorporate an oil into my wash because rose hip oil is amazing for the skin. I use it on my face. And for the vagina, it offers a nice layer of protection for the vagina so that in case with, for example, the balance of the apple cider vinegar that's also in here, and the witch hazel, which are more of a stripping, it will replenish the oils that may have been taken off as a result of you cleansing the vagina with the wash, so that it counterbalances so that your vagina is continuing to be cleansed and moisturized simultaneously. And our very amazing key ingredient here, 2 key ingredients. We have citric acid. Citric acid is in so many different things, but citric acid, because it is an acid, it's a naturally occurring acid that happens in most fruit, most oranges, lemons, limes, acidic fruits. It helps to lower the pH of soap. So there's cocoglucamine in here, which is a coconut-derived soap, very, very mild. It's in most baby soaps. So if it can go on a baby and cleanse a baby, it's good enough for your vagina, so that your vagina is as clean as a baby's butt. And it also has probiotics, acidophilus, and a probiotics complex with at least 5 billion parts per million. Probiotics, again, are good for the gut. They're also great for the vagina. We want to replace the bad bacteria that's causing odor, discharge, and discomfort with good bacteria. That is topical. I always encourage you to take it internally, but this will also help fight it externally as well. Externally, do not insert this in the vagina. It is a soap, and you want the vagina to be able to self-regulate. This will help with the labia, the clitoris, the anus, and the vaginal area in general. And we also put silver in this, colloidal silver, which is also another protector of the vagina. It helps to balance the pH of the vagina, and the formula is just really excellent. So you've got really amazing, naturally occurring ingredients that will help to cleanse the vagina, make you feel fresh and clean. So we do it in a pump bottle also, because you don't want a big goo glob of soap on and putting that on the vagina, because then you have to do so much to rinse it. It strips too much. This is the right amount, 4 to 5 pumps max. Cleanse the vagina, cleanse the anus, the yoni becomes clean, and then you can move on to the other areas of your body that you want to have cleaned. One of the other questions that I get for women is, okay, I can wash my vagina, but what's this whole yoni steam about? And I love talking about yoni steam, and I'm going to save this guy here in the front for last, because it is our very special yoni oil. But yoni steams are amazing, and I actually have to make some more, because I have 2 different types of yoni steams that I offer, but one of them has sold out, and it is so luscious and beautiful, and I think every woman should have the opportunity to steam their vagina at least once a month as a form of self-care, because it is such a beautiful way to care for yourself. As I mentioned, the vagina is the most sacred organ of any woman, and sometimes it's out of balance and sometimes it's out of whack. Ancient women from many times, many moons ago and many future moons from now, have and will continue to steam the vagina. What does it mean to steam the vagina? When I was growing up, my mother used to steam her face with herbs. She would boil a big old pot of water, put some herbs in there, and they were actually herbs that you could ingest in order to, it was a laxative that you could eliminate with, but it also helped to draw the toxins out of her face. So she would put a towel over that and put a big old pot of water and herbs over her face, and she would just steam her face for 20 to 30 minutes. And she still looks amazing. My mom's 71, and she looks well into her mid-30s for sure. The concept is simple. When you use steam and herbs, specific types of herbs, they draw out toxins from the area that it's concentrated on. So with this vaginal steam, you can do the same thing. Boil a big pot of water, use 2 to 3 teaspoons of this formula that I've created, and you can either, I have a chair that has holes in it, and I put the pot of water underneath the chair. I get a big skirt, and I put that over the chair so that it's insulated and all the steam goes up into my lady bits, not to burn them, but just to draw out toxins that may exist from either just getting off of my period, long sweaty day at the gym, just wanting to feel fresh and clean. And steaming is such an amazing way to self-heal. I have 2 formulas. One is a balancing steam, which is the one any woman can use. It's mostly roses, lavender, there's rosemary, basic ingredients that you probably have at home, and we have in a nice formula here. And then I have my womb healing version. Now, I should mention that none of these are FDA approved. Do your own research. And make sure that this is something that you can tolerate by starting off small, maybe 1 teaspoon, to make sure that it's something that you're comfortable with. I'm very honest about all of that. So this particular one helps to revitalize the uterus. It's effective at vaginal tightening, because anytime you steam, again, the skin will naturally tighten itself. It restores the pH of the vagina. It detoxifies the uterus, as well as eases uterine discomfort. So any girls with cramps that they get every single month, or really heavy period flows, first of all, there's many teas out there that you can drink, in order to help heal your system from the inside out. I am not stopping you from drinking this, and I'm not suggesting that you drink this in a tea. We do offer tea bags to either utilize it in that way, or instead of putting the herbs directly into a pot or directly into a bath, for example, you can put them, we give you 4, you can put them in a tea bag and put them directly in the pot in a seated urinal that you can sit on your toilet, or directly into your warm bath, which is a great way to be able to just draw those toxins out while you're already bathing yourself. But a lot of women use this when they're just finishing their period or just before they start their period, in order to draw those toxins immediately. So it's a great way to be able to self-care the vagina with a Yoni or a V-steam, as it's oftentimes referred to. But I encourage every woman to try it at least once in their lifetime. Now on to my favorite product that we have, and it is by far my best-selling product that I have in the arsenal of amazing products that we have here at Love More Probe. We have over 150 products, and by far I've sold more of these than anything. As you can see, it's a beautiful oil. I don't know if you can see all of the amazing ingredients in it. It's got, first of all, some beautiful quartz and rose crystals inside that have been charged by the moon, because we want you to energetically feel good on the inside and the outside in your vagina. It holds, it keeps the score, right? It holds memory. So if you've had fun with a stranger or fun with somebody you know, and say there was heartbreak there, your vagina will remember that. Your vagina, that's why a lot of women say, the old saying goes, if you want to get over one man, you get under a new one. I don't agree with that statement, even though I understand it is a form of self-help and managing trauma by releasing sexual power. And it's a way to remain powerful in spite of pain that you may feel. But more importantly, and why I'm talking about it, is this is a sacred feminine oil. It has coconut oil and sweet almond oil and jojoba oil, vitamin E as its main oil ingredients, because those are simple and easy on skin, especially sensitive skin. And we incorporated a couple of really calming essential oils. Lavender and rose damascus essential oil go into this for, first of all, a very beautiful fragrant smell. But lavender is known to calm and rose is known to heal. And those two combined help to ensure that the vagina is calming itself, so that it's not inflamed, it's not red, it's not agitated. And we put a couple of special herbs in here that help aid in the tightening and the pH balance, as well as the overall appeal of the vagina. It helps to balance the vagina and makes it just beautifully fragrant. And just a couple of drops of that, not a super bunch of it, but when you shake it, it gets in there, and you just put a couple of drops into your fingers, and you just simply massage it on the outer layers of the vagina, your clitoris, your anus. And some women, as you become more familiar with the oil, do also insert this oil. So if you're not creating your own vaginal lubricant, this acts as a vaginal lubricant. And just the other herbs in here, there's roses, there's chamomile, there's calendula, flowers in here, and calendula has been infused in here, and this oil is heated up before it is actually put in the bottle. So all of these herbs have been infused in the oil, and they're all calming. And so what a great way to self-care by putting some calming oils to not only lubricate you. I wouldn't use condoms if you use this because we don't want the condoms to break. But as a natural lubricant for the vagina, whether you're looking to have some fun or whether you are looking to make sure that the vagina stays lubricated for your own discomfort. I mean, whenever I've used it, my husband is like, oh God, use that again. Like, I love that. There's a lot of pleasure in it because it smells so amazing. And it just makes you feel good. And so most women can use this. I've had mine, this particular bottle that I have for about 3 months. For me, they last about 5. Depending on use. I use a couple drops every day, sometimes twice a day. Again, if I use this a couple times a day, I definitely use my oil a couple times a day. Because as we get older, it's definitely important to make sure that you stay moisturized. Now, some people, like my favorite rappers, love talking about how their pussies are swimming like lakes and like Dasani water because they're so wet. God bless them, they're still in their 20s. Okay, number one. Number two, that won't last always. And obviously, with time, the vagina loses its natural ability to generate so much juice. And typically, that's only generated with stimulus. Well, every woman I know knows that your vagina is not always lubricated just because you're intimate. Sometimes the guys don't do what they need to do in order to make sure that you're lubricated before you have intercourse. Sometimes you're just not in the mood, and sometimes it just doesn't happen because that's just how your chemistry works. This will guarantee that every time you will have the right amount of lubrication, and it will smell sweet and smell fresh. So, what do you want to do? You want to wash your vagina. You want to steam your vagina. You want to keep your vagina lubricated so that it feels nice and beautiful and sexy as it should. And this is Complete Yoni Care by Love Amore Probe. I'm so grateful for the opportunity to share this bit of information with you. I know this video is kind of long, but hopefully you found the information in it very important for your life. And if you really wanted to try one of these products, I'd love for you to come to my website and learn more about our Yoni products. I love educating the public about what I sell and why I sell it. There are tons of products out there, but know that we put so much love, so much time and attention into each and every product that we sell here at Love Amore Probe, especially our Yoni products, because I'm a woman and I got a Yoni and I want to make sure I take care of mine. I use these products, so I want to make sure I take care of yours too. Your guy will thank me. Your girl will thank me too. Either way, go to www.amorep.com for more information. Again, my name is Tahera Rene Christy. I thank you for joining me, and I hope you have a beautiful, wonderful day. And as always, live in love.